Good old Rocky Top, Tennessee. Hey, what's up, Facebook? What's up, YouTube's Volunteer Roadshow? It's the Buck and 2MC, sort of kind of the Buck and 2MC show. Bobby C. filling in for LVFL great Alexis Hornbuckle and her host and her co-host, Maria Cornelius. We had a ball game today, Maria. I don't know if you know that or not, and we played good. Tell us how we played. And before we do that, I wanted to tell everybody, we got a new function. I don't know if you know this, Maria. We got the call board set up. Anybody want to call in, voice your opinion, ask your question to Maria? Probably shouldn't ask me anything because I don't know much about anything. But you can call 865-424-1342. But tell us how we played. You were saying in the pregame, the pre-show prep, that there was all kinds of great stats. Let's hear it.
Yeah, just season high, 58% overall shooting, 60% from the arc, 88-54 win. Tennessee controlled this game from tip to final buzzer and gave their fans a break because they've had some incredible heart-stopping games in this month, and their fans actually needed this, enjoyed it. Season high and career high for Cassie Cush-Kitawa with 19 points. Renaya Davis, 23 points. Those are the two seniors who were able to play today. A third senior, of course, has not been able to play because of injury, Jaden McCoy. Ray Burrell, 14 points. Absolutely dominated the glass with, I'm trying to find where did I put, I've scribbled all my notes here. I'll find that stat. I don't know where I put that one. Jordan Horston, 12 points and 9 assists. Tamari Key, a pair of 10s and 4 blocks. And Tamari literally just takes people's souls with those blocks. She really does. I mean, they just take your soul right off the court. The rebounds were 47-29. So just an all-out good showing for the Lady Vols, and what is even bigger is that they earned the number 3 seed in the SEC tournament, and this will be the first time since 2015 that the Lady Vols have started the SEC tournament on a Friday with that double bye. So just an all-around good day for the Lady Vols and their fans on Sunday.
Hey, I just saw a comment in the Facebook section I wanted to ask you about because I didn't know anything about it. Before we do, we've got a special. Tell them about the special. I'm going to bring the image up, Maria. Orange Mountain Designs at orangemountaindesigns.com has a Lady Vols win. The Lady Vols are 15-6.
$15.60 special. Where in the heck? Oh, that's in my email. I'm like you, Bobby. I got way too many things going on in my life.
Not all who wander are lost, it says. It looks like a pair of boots and an outline of the state of Tennessee. Valid for today only. And it looks like you get a face mask.
Yes, or a keychain. It's the Lady Vols are 15-6. I finally found it. So the price is $15.60. For a t-shirt. Not all who wander are lost. Like you said, the hiking boots with the Lady Vol logo and the Tennessee outline, and a really cool Lady Vol keychain. And in some cases, Terry had mentioned also a face mask. That was the image she sent for use for this show. So you can just go to the website, orangemountaindesigns.com, and find all sorts of cool stuff that you can use, and be sure and take advantage of that $15.60 special.
I tell you what, Orange Mountain Designs has really helped out the Volunteer Roadshow, put out Lady Vol content, and Terry Holder over there has always supported Lady Vols, and we need to support our own and not go to Amazon. Go to Terry Holder and get all your Lady Vol stuff, and it really helps us out. Be sure to tell them you saw Orange Mountain Designs on Volunteer Roadshow. It helps us put out more content because it costs money. This is costing money, and that's what Orange Mountain Designs helps us with, and we hopefully help them out with business. And another big sponsor, Blue Water Climate Control. Go to bluewaterclimatecontrol.com, and you can book your own your service. You don't have to call them or anything. You can go on. Everything's going online now. You can order your Big Mac, have it ordered, taken to your doorstep out here. Everything's online, and 80% of their customers use the online booking feature. It's pretty neat. So check out BlueWaterClimateControl.com. They sponsor all kind of Tennessee athletics and other events. But I wanted to go over here to a question I didn't know anything about. Somebody mentioned you, Maria. They talking about you over here.
Uh-oh. I can't see them, so you got to tell me what they say.
Maybe they're not. Okay. So I guess they weren't talking about somebody who talked to the team. It said they had a great segment highlighting when you talked to the team. Is that somebody else? Trish Jackson. Okay.
Yeah, Trish Jackson. The first African American player to play for the Lady Vols spoke to the team via Zoom.
Wow.
And they showed that feature at halftime.
That's awesome.
Up on the scoreboard. They had a lot of good features.
I seen where they had Volunteer Roadshow's very own host, Jamel Johnson, was featured as the soccer player. Did you get to see that? That was awesome.
Yes. And Trish Roberts, I don't know why that name just blipped out of my head. She lives in the Atlanta area now, was the first African-American player for Pat Summitt at Tennessee. And one thing the players said on that video is that they could tell that Trish really watched their games, that she was watching the team and that she was following. And the encouragement she gave them was tremendous. And that's what you want. You want those Lady Vol for Life people coming back and helping this team. We're missing one with Alexis Hornbuckle today, of course. She is in Miami. I think she's bouncing around Disneyland or Orlando.
Yeah, she's at Disney World, she told me.
I never can remember if it's World or Land. I've never been to either. Not that I don't have a desire to go. I've just never gone. So
me neither. I've never been there either.
I don't like crowds, so I'm not sure that's my thing, but it may not be all that crowded now. But this was a game that Tennessee, they had a pair of Tigers they had to play this week with Missouri and then Auburn. And they had to get these wins because you want to be in control of your own destiny in the SEC tournament. And 2 wins this week would allow them to do that. And they were able to, obviously, as I mentioned before, get that 3 seed. That is very big because you don't have to. If you play on Wednesday, the bottom 2 teams play on Wednesday. You've got to be there Tuesday, and if you play Thursday, you've got to be there Wednesday. Now the Lady Vols don't have to get to Greenville until Thursday. They can have a day off here. They can practice. They can work on. They got 2 full practice sessions here in Knoxville. You just go into it with a little more energy and a little less of really just feeling like it's just one long week in terms of not getting any break between the end of the regular season and the start of postseason. Now, Kelly did accurately say the double bye doesn't help you on Friday. You've got a tough game on Friday against a team that had a slight advantage because they've already played on the court. Where it helps you is moving forward. If you can get to that title game, you're much more likely to have your legs if you've only had to play on a 3rd straight game as opposed to 4 or even 5. So a lot, and it improves your seeding in the NCAA tournament. It's just a very big step forward for this program to get back to being a top 4 seed in the SEC tournament.
Well, let's read some comments and give some shout outs. Jessica Gwynn said, good afternoon. Trish Jackson, Joan Gutenheim, a lot of regulars. We get a lot of regulars in here, Maria.
Loyal.
Terry Smith said, what a great senior day. Best game against Auburn in years. Denise Tague, 25 assists. Doris Parsley Workman said, hello, Maria. Renee Suter, we needed a game like this. Beth Edwards, a lot of our regulars are in here. Mary McBride in here. Trish says Orange Mountain Design is the best, and Terry is amazing. Yeah, we got a lot of people in here, and don't forget you can call a new feature. We do this on some of our other shows. Billy Ratliff and myself do a Friday night show, call-in show, and I just dawned on me, man. I think a lot of our followers, we do have a lot of regular followers, would love to call in. You can even hear the show while you're on hold. I even got that feature set up, so you don't have to worry about what's being said. So give me a call, 865-424-1342. And Kimberly Ogg says, so proud of our seniors. All right, let's get into the tournament. We're playing Friday. Who's the odds-on favorite? If Billy and I like to place a little couple dollar bet. Who's the odds-on favorite
would have said
to
South
win this
Carolina.
tournament?
It's in Greenville, so you would have said South Carolina, but Texas A&M just beat South Carolina for that program's first ever SEC regular season championship. So looking at that, I mean, if you look at seeding, you would have to give the advantage right now to Texas A&M. But the beauty of this tournament in the SEC is who knows? I mean, your top four seeds have an easier path, not by matchups, but because they don't have to play as many games. But Kentucky fell to a 5 seed, but they're just as capable of anyone as getting to Sunday. If you ask me to pick a favorite, you base it on the regular season results and say A&M. Now, South Carolina is going to have the added motivation of not winning the SEC title, which it has done for several years, and now they could be extra motivated to go defend the SEC in terms of getting the tourney title. And it's also in their backyard. It's in Greenville. Now, as you know, Bobby, you don't really have a home court advantage anymore with coronavirus. The attendance is capped at 3,000 for every game at the arena in Greenville, downtown Greenville. So it's not like you can put 10,000 of your own fans in there.
Well, this is what makes you champions. I mean, playing the tournament, it's a totally different ball game in any sport, a regular season versus playoffs / tournament. And basketball tournament, men's and women's, it's just such a great time of year because so much can happen. You think you've got a winner picked out, your bracket all picked out, and it's a stone cold lock, and then some Cinderella comes along and messes with your bracket. I'm gonna win that bracket contest this year.
All right, I'm pulling for you.
But
a reminder on that phone number, 865-424-1342.
We got a caller. We got a caller. Let's see what the caller has for Maria and Bobby. How you doing? What you got?
Hi, good afternoon. Denise Tagg.
Oh, yeah.
From Indiana, longtime listener. Just wanted to say thank you so much for all the platforms that you put out to, reach out to Lady Vols fans that maybe are outside the area. I do appreciate it, and it kind of helped me through the pandemic when I was off work last year. And I am a loyal customer for Orange Mountain Designs as well.
That's awesome. Awesome. Yeah, I told Maria when we first got together, I said, man, I want to have the biggest and the bestest Lady Vol coverage out there, period. And the power of the internet helps us to reach all the way to Indiana. I saw Frostburg, Maryland. We're all over the country doing this.
Denise, I'm glad to know how to pronounce your last name, Denise Tagg. I want to thank you because you are on every post saying thank you, appreciative of the coverage. It is fans like you that make it worthwhile for me to do this, because I know that it's helping you get coverage you couldn't get typically anywhere else, especially being in Indiana. So thank you for keeping me motivated to keep going, Denise. I appreciate you.
Well, thank you. That's very humbling. But like I said, you got me through the pandemic, and I've been a longtime Lady Vols fan since the late 80s. And, it just gives me something to look forward to in the evenings. And I love it. I just love it.
I don't know if they showed any of it on TV, but the halftime video board here were the seniors being surprised by letters from their family, and they read the letters out loud as they sat in the locker room. This was pre-recorded, of course, not it wasn't done live. And I mean, Renaya just cried through her entire letter of her mama talking to her, and so did Cassie got emotional, so did Jaden McCoy. If they didn't show those on TV, I would assume they'll get up on social media, and those are definitely worth a listen for Lady Vol fans to hear those seniors read those letters.
Yes, I always look forward to the coaches post game, your highlights, your expertise. As crazy as it sounds, I don't watch TV at home, so I kind of allow the internet to be my source. And I was really surprised the other night after the Georgia game. You said there wasn't going to be a show, and then I was getting ready to go to bed, and I got a notification that you were on. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute! But it was exciting.
That was a Missouri game, Bobby. I did a sneak. I went in there at 10:30 because I was awake and I wasn't going to bug you or Alexis. And I thought, this is such a big win because Tennessee put itself right back in control Thursday with that win in Columbia, Missouri, not Columbia, South Carolina, Missouri. And I thought, let's just go do a live show and see who's still up. So Denise, I'm glad you had the notifications turned on so you could join us Thursday night. That was kind of late.
It was, but it was so cool. I enjoyed it. And for some reason I had Georgia on my brain, but Missouri. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Denise. I'm glad fans got a game that didn't give them a heart attack today. The fans deserve this senior day. I mean, they got to 10 points at halftime, got a little out of sync there in the second quarter. There were a lot of players going in and out, and I think they just got a little bit discombobulated at times. But they started the third quarter strong, and they basically, this game was out of reach pretty early in the second half. And it's a crazy. Yes, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Can I ask another question?
Absolutely.
Last year, did you have Trish on one of your shows when you had former players?
Yes, Trish Roberts joined us when we were doing those player interviews on a Positive Lady Vols.
Yeah, she was awesome. I mean, all the Lady Vols that previous Lady Vols. I mean, I love those shows, and I would listen to them 2-3 times a week. But I really loved her story and her loyalty to the program all these years, and all the other former Lady Vols. That whole series was fantastic.
Thank you. That we can talk, Bobby, about moving that over now that we'll be in the off season here later in the spring. There's still a lot of postseason basketball to go, but we can talk about reinvigorating that and bringing it back.
Sure.
It took off. We did it just on a whim, trying to do something in the pandemic and keep people involved with Terry and Orange Mountain Designs, and those interviews just absolutely took off.
Yeah, let's make it happen.
The one thing that I really liked about them, well, a lot of things I really liked about them, but it was kind of interesting when the players said what other schools had recruited them, especially, the older players, back in the early years, heard Georgia a lot. And then one of the earlier players was recruited by Louisiana Tech and finally got a win against Louisiana Tech, like in her senior year. That was exciting.
Louisiana Tech was the big dog at one point. That was a great rivalry.
That really was.
Absolutely.
And what is wonderful about the Lady Vols program is that how far that long orange line extends, and players who played in the 70s and 80s and 90s and early 2000s are still around, and the team is still so connected. That speaks well to who they are as players, and now former players, and what this is as a program overall.
Well, Denise, thank you for watching, and I get to recognize a lot of these names, but like Maria said, it is really viewers like you, and you're almost, I don't know that I've ever seen a Lady Vol show that we do Denise isn't in there commenting. And I wanted to thank you.
I don't think I've missed any. And I also listen to Unfiltered.
Oh, yeah, on Mondays.
Alexis.
Awesome.
I try to get that every week as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Denise.
Thank
we got a couple of callers, and thank you very much. And we're going to keep this thing going throughout the off season, and hopefully the Vols will go a long ways in the tournament.
That sounds absolutely fantastic, and thank you again, and have a great day.
Thank you.
We got a couple of callers on hold, and I'm going to get to you just as we can, as soon as we can. We got a lot of people. Linda Smith said she would love for us to continue this thing, so that would be great. Let's go to Maryville. You know where Maryville is, Maria?
Maryville. I used to live in Maryville.
Maryville. What we got? Aaron Ross wants to talk about Lady Vols, I hope.
I actually relocated to good old Knox Vegas here.
Oh.
And living in Knoxville now. But I digress. It is Aaron Ross here. And I just wanted to talk to you about the consistency of our Lady Vols program. I feel the same way I feel about the men's team. You know, we have great wins like we did today or we did against South Carolina, but I feel like we're so, like, I don't know, watching Lady Vols, if we're going to come out and win big or if we're going to come out and look sloppy like we have a couple times this year and even last year. And I'm just wondering, what do y'all see as the difference between the inconsistencies that this Kellie Harper led team has shown versus the inconsistencies that we were experiencing under Holly?
I hesitate to get into a comparison of the two because, I mean, Kellie's only been here 2 years, and I'm not sure that's really a fair amount of time to make a comparison. In terms of inconsistencies, you're talking about the whole sport across the board, every conference, men and women. I think part of it has been a pandemic, which has completely changed every game. And I think there's more probably things going on in terms of players who have had COVID and are trying to recover from it and have what they call COVID fatigue. I do think that is real. Particularly in the women's SEC, I mean, Auburn, which had not won an SEC game, came within 4 points of beating Arkansas on Thursday, and we're leading in the fourth quarter. South Carolina has been up and down all year and lost to Texas A&M. Georgia was picked to finish 9th in the SEC and now finished 4th. I think the competition is much better than it's ever been. The players are better. The teams are better. I mean, it's better even than when Pat coached here. The SEC had maybe 2 teams that could challenge Tennessee back in the day, and that's just not the case anymore. So the inconsistency, I think you're going to have inconsistency with any team you watch. It's a matter of limiting that as much as you can, and the way you bounce back, particularly after a loss, is huge.
Aaron, is that all you've got? You got anything else? I guess he hung up. Let's go to Karen Vogel. I know this is a recognizable name. Karen's always in the chat. How you doing, Karen? What you got for Bobby and Maria?
Hey, Maria.
Hello, Karen. How are you guys over in Colorado?
Gina and I are doing fine. We had a question as to why Emily didn't come in sooner than the 3-minute mark. And do you think she will develop to replace Cassie down low?
I think she can develop, and an off season, a real off season, not a COVID one, will be very helpful. When you've got a roster of 13 players, obviously 2 are hurt, and Jaden and Keegan, it's hard to get time for 11 players in there. And I think in the second quarter, maybe the substitutions got a little too, they were made a little bit too often. Tennessee got out of sync in that second quarter, I think because they were rotating people in pretty quick. And I think Kellie pulled back on the reins in the third quarter. And then in the fourth quarter, you're trying to get people as many minutes as you can, and then also let Renaya and Cassie go out with a bang and then pull them off the court. So I don't. It also at the post position, it's kind of crowded. You've got forwards who can post. You've got Cassie. You've got Tamari, Marta who can post. It's not that easy to get minutes, and it's particularly hard when you've got 11 players and you're trying to get everybody in.
So how far do you see us going in the SEC tournament? Since we've got the double bye.
The double bye helps. It helps a lot because you don't have to get down there so early. The SEC tournament is a roll of the dice. I've seen Tennessee play well on Friday, and I've seen Tennessee over the years not make it out of Friday. You're in a better position if you get to the championship game because you're not so tired. But this SEC tournament is literally wide open. You've got Georgia coming in as a 4 seed that beat Tennessee twice. You got South Carolina that's going to probably be mad. A&M, just an incredible year for them. Kentucky, don't want to rule them out. Alabama, Arkansas, not the way Arkansas, especially the way Arkansas shoots. It is going to be a tournament where it's a toss-up every game. So I hesitate to make any predictions of where Tennessee could get. Do they have the ability to get to Sunday and play for a title? Absolutely. But they got a lot of company. It's just not the way it used to be where there was 1, 2, maybe 3 teams you knew could get there. It's at least 5, 6, or 7 teams that can get to Sunday, and never count out LSU ever, especially in postseason. They're going to come in a little more rested too, because they were supposed to play Vanderbilt today, and of course Vanderbilt ended their season. So LSU was off today just by scheduling. Nothing they could do about that. So when you've got 13 teams, somebody's not going to be able to play because you got the other 12 involved in 6 different games. So it'll be fun. The biggest thing for Tennessee is how much it's improved its seeding in the SEC tournament and how much that can help its seeding in the NCAA tournament, which is going to get started here in mid-March.
Well, Gina and I thank you and Terry and Bobby for this platform. We absolutely are religious about watching it. So have a great day, guys. Go Lady Vols.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. That's a great call. All the way out in Colorado.
Lady Vol Nation.
There's Lady Vols everywhere.
I hope I answered. Was it Aaron? His question?
Yeah, he got disconnected, he said.
Okay, it's just really hard to make a compare. And the circumstances of what was going on in terms of AD changes and turmoil and chancellor changes, there was just a lot of noise around Tennessee in the last several years, pretty much throughout, Renaya's career. And then Kellie came in and had to sort of start figuring out exactly the way she wanted to play. She knew how she wanted to play, but you have to work with the players you have and get to know them and earn their trust. A new head coach doesn't just walk in here and the players automatically trust them. I will add that we were able to ask Cassie and Renaya about their decision to stay, because the players have been through the most adversity with the unexpected losses, with not being able to start a tournament on Friday, with a coaching change, which that is an ordeal on players when you have a coaching change. And those two stayed, and they both said they stayed because they love Tennessee. They love the Tennessee program. They are Lady Vols, and this is where they wanted to be. So I want to give a shout out to 2 players who could have left. I mean, programs would have taken Cassie or Renaya in a heartbeat, and they stayed and they persevered. And they had one heck of a game today with Renaya at 23 points and Cassie at a career high 19, and they deserve that. They deserve this day, and the loyalty they showed and the ability to stick it out is something that will help them going forward in life, because when things got really tough, they dug in and it got tougher.
Yeah, they did a lot of character building this year. And just think about the dividends that's going to pay off next year. Everybody talks about let's not look back in the past. That's some of the comments in today's show. But look forward, that's going to help. If we have a good deep run in the tournament, and that's just going to help. It just builds upon itself. And
I think that's Kellie took the approach of everything that's happened before me, I can't do anything about. I can't control. But also Kellie took the approach of, leaving the door open for Holly to if she ever wanted to be around.
That'd be awesome.
Kellie understands because Kellie was fired at NC State. She understands how hard that is and what a toll that takes on you. I mean, this is it's their livelihood, but it's also their life. So I think in hindsight, Kellie, when Tennessee decided to make a change, they made an excellent choice in Kellie Harper. And you're right, Bobby. I mean, they had to do a lot of get to know each other and character building. And it wasn't just because of a new coach. It was because there were some things that needed to be resolved. And when you have a campus that is not stable either in terms of the chancellor's office and the AD and changes made there, it has a domino effect on everything else.
Well, I think, man, would that not be awesome, Maria, to see Holly sitting there talking to Kellie like she used to help Pat? Could you imagine the help that would be to Kellie?
Well, I'm not talking about it as an assistant coach. Just if she ever would, because Holly wouldn't. I mean, there's no way. You don't
think she'd come back for that?
No, I don't think so. Not when you've been the head coach, and I'm talking about coming back around the program.
Okay,
and
still,
I think Tennessee fans would, if they did it, particularly if they saw Holly in the crowd or they did an alumni weekend. I think that would be very welcome and well received. I think Holly did the commentary on Florida, Georgia today. She's got a broadcasting career going. And I don't see her getting back into coaching. She left the door open to be a head coach again somewhere else, but I do not see her ever wanting to take on an assistant role. That just, I mean, she wasn't far behind Pat in terms of age, and she's probably looking for something that's not quite as taxing, because the assistants basically have no life, none, zero.
Well, somebody brought up in the comments maybe she could be a consultant. I believe she would be a consultant. I think she would do that. She loves this university.
Kellie's navigated a very difficult path because Kellie's a Lady Vol for life, and she was replacing a Lady Vol for life. And
that's got to be tough.
It is tough. And all the expectations that come with being the coach of this program. And then by the way, you're going to have to do it during a pandemic. So it's been a heck of a year. I want to talk about the rebounding, what I mentioned before, 47-29. I think Tennessee won the board battle in 19 of the, or how many games did they play total? 15 and 6, 21. I think they won the board battle in 20 of their 21 games. They won they did not get beat on the boards. Cassie had 8. Tamari Key had a double-double, 10 points and 10 boards. Davis had 11, another double-double for Renaya Davis. Jordan Walker had 5. Emily and Destiny had 2 each coming off the bench. Ray Burrell had 4. Just a mindset of everybody gets on the glass, and except for the person that has to get back. They don't send 5 to the glass on the defensive or on the offensive glass, because somebody's got to get back in case Auburn or another opponent gets away. But they basically have become one of the most dominant rebounding teams in the country, and that's a tribute to them, because rebounding it's a lot of effort, and you got to want the ball, and they got a lot of kids out there that want the ball.
Well, this platform, Volunteer Roadshow, was built on connecting with the fans. So let's go back and read some comments and give some more shout outs, and maybe we'll get a call or two at 865-424-1342. But let's pay some rent here. Orange Mountain Designs has a let me get it up here. Where did it go? There we go. Has a special for today only. Lady Vols win. The Lady Vols are 15-6. Celebrate with this $15.60 deal. Valid today only. It says on the shirt, not all who wander are lost. It comes with a keychain and a face mask. Is that correct, Maria?
I think so. I've seen two graphics that Terry sent. One has the keychain on it. One has the face mask. So basically just get over there and see what you can get for $15.60.
It's called supporting the Lady Vols and getting a shirt and a mask for free. That's what I call it. That's what I call it. Anyway, let's go read some comments. There were some great comments a minute ago. Somebody just gave us a live update. Mizzou up on Mississippi State 64-38. That's from Beth Edwards. Thank you, Beth.
Yeah, Missouri can flat out hit shots. That's why I keep saying this tournament's wide open. When you got a team that can bomb threes like Missouri does, my goodness, they're going to be in every game.
Kathy Hunter says, I've been surprised the last couple of games that Renee has subbed in before. I can't even read that salary. I think it's a typo. But anyway, let's go on down here to some more comments. Deronda Fletcher, another regular. I think that a lot of Lady Vol fans have looked at how great Pat was and how she made Lady Vols basketball what it is, and expect that to come into Tennessee and come out the same. There's only one Pat Summit, and Kellie, like Holly, has to do her own thing, and as Pat would say, trust the process. These last few seasons have been a process, and I can see the difference. I can see a difference, too.
Tennessee tied for third last year. I mean, they're number 3 seed this year. They tied for third in the SEC last year, but the tiebreakers pushed them down to 6. So they had to start on Thursday. And the biggest change or the biggest leap forward that I see for Tennessee this year is it beat everybody it was supposed to beat in the SEC, and it stole some really big-time wins, too. They did not lose to anybody they should not have lost to. And that's what keeps you in that top 4 seed. The losses were Kentucky once, Texas A&M once, Georgia twice. If you wanted to quibble with the 2 Georgia games, you could. You could say, well, that they shouldn't have lost either one of those games, and that's not a bad point. But they didn't start losing the games that were further down in the standings and put them in a terrible position when those tiebreakers come up. So they took care of business this year and got that top 4 seed. And that's what you want. You want to put yourself in the best position to win a tournament. And starting on Friday, I think in the history of this tournament, there's only been one team start on Thursday and win it. It's just the odds are just not in your favor at all.
Well, Denise has a question. She says, was 25 assists correct? And is that a season high?
Let me go look. Let me look at my stats. They had a ton of them. Assists. Yes, 25 assists for Tennessee. Obviously, I mentioned before that Jordan Horston accounted for 9 of those. Jordan Walker accounted for 4 of those. Ray Burrell accounted for 4 of those. Key had 2. Destiny Salary had 3. Tess Darby had 1. And Renee Davis had 1. I would imagine if that's not a season high, it's close to it. I'll have to go look at my notes and that. But my goodness, that is a lot of assists. And 18 I guess if you want to quibble with something with this game, it'd be the 18 turnovers. There were 10 in the first half, 8 in the second. But if you're shooting 58% and dishing the ball 25 times, you could make up for turnovers. Auburn did turn those 18 turnovers into 17 points. Tennessee converted Auburn's 13 turnovers into 13 points. There were a couple times this game I wondered if it was some kind of slick something on the ball because players were fumbling it. They don't on both sides. They don't usually fumble it. They would almost have it in their hand and then it would slip away. So maybe it was a new ball or something. I don't know. Or maybe we're just not used to. Maybe it's very warm here. Maybe we're not used to that. We've been freezing here lately and raining, and it's sunny and warm. So maybe the ball got a little slick today.
Do you have a breakdown of how those rebounds were broken up? Who had all the rebounds? I'm trying to look up the stats here now, but I can't look it up by the team.
Let's see. Rebounds. Renaya Davis, 11. The total was 47-29. Renaya Davis had 11 boards. Tamari Key had 10. Cassie Kushkitawa had 8. Jordan Walker, 5. Ray Burrell, 4. Destiny Salary, 2. Jesse Rennie, 1. Emily Saunders, 2. And Marta Suarez, 1. Obviously, there's some dead ball rebounds, too, they'll happen. So that just another dominating performance on the boards. They also, points in the paint, when you look at the stats, jump out to you. 54 points in the paint for Tennessee to 26 for Auburn. In the first half, I was thinking there's no reason for anyone on Tennessee's team to launch a jumper. And when the second quarter got a little tight, they were launching jumpers instead of getting the ball inside. You could get inside either the post feeds or just driving. You could get to the paint against Auburn, and Tennessee got a little jumper happy in the second quarter, but they got it all figured out, obviously, in the third.
Looking over the stats here, Maria, the only thing that really causes me concern is the free throw percentage. We just barely shot 60%, 14 to 23.
They had a really good percentage against Missouri too. But yeah, there were some misses. You
got to make your free throws in the tournament.
Now they only took 10. And they were 1 of 1. I'm looking at the players. 1 of 1, 2 of 4, 1 of 2, 2 of 2, 0 of 1. Yeah, you got to make 10 is kind of a low sample size.
It says here 14 of 23. Am I looking at the wrong stats?
Oh, yeah, I was looking. Yeah, I was.
Auburn took 10.
I'm sorry, here. I had the wrong. You're right. I had the wrong.
14 to 23, but we 3-point land. 14
to 23. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was looking. Davis was 5 of 5. So obviously get her on the line. Horston was 4 of 6. Tamari was 0 of 3, and she is usually much better than that. She's usually good for 70%. So, and Cassie was 3 of 7, and she had gotten better there. So in this case, I think you just got a couple of places where it dipped, where it doesn't always dip. But you're absolutely correct. You got to hit free throws, particularly in postseason, which can often be 1 or 2 possession games.
Well, let's read some comments here. Sue Tharp says, proud of KJ and the Lady Vols. Karen Vogel has a question. How do you feel about the bubble for the NCAA tourney?
I think it's about the only way to do it. That way they know that every team that arrives does not have any people that have the virus. You've got to, before you get to Texas, you have to submit 7 consecutive days of negative tests for every tier 1 level person.
Wow.
So, and you will stay in Texas until you lose. That way you don't have teams flying back and forth with other additional chances for exposure, and they will have regular testing there at every facility. They will have a team will be assigned a hotel, and that will be their hotel for the duration. They're doing everything they can to keep it to keep the players as confined as possible into a bubble-like atmosphere without having one specific location like the WNBA, the NBA. Well, there's not that many teams. You can put everybody in one kind of area, but there's 64 teams you got to get to Texas, so it's a little bit harder to find one spot. They're going to use various locations and venues in the San Antonio area, and Austin, Texas will also be a host site. Though I'll point out, if Texas were to get into the NCAA tournament, it would not play at home. They're not going to, since no teams are playing at home, Texas would be sent to another venue. It's just a very that knows how to host opening rounds, so they have the personnel at Texas to host that.
We got a comment over here by Will Kellogg, and on the YouTube side said there will never be another Pat. How many times has that been said on the Buck and 2MC show in the last 3 or 4 months? Her legacy it just will never end. It'll never end.
it's one of the most incredible people in sports. I mean, we're lucky that our lives aligned with hers and we got to see it. That comes along about every 50 years,
Yeah.
particularly in sports, where somebody just transcends every single thing about the sport. I mean, she built women's basketball into this enterprise that it is now, and it's yeah, and her look at her legacy now of players and coaches, and I mean her coaching tree has branches all over the place. Heck, they got branches all over the SEC.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw a stat, and I don't even remember what it was. All the coaches and assistant coaches in basketball that have somehow been touched by Pat Summitt. It was amazing. Jeff Pearson says, really proud of the way KK stepped up today. What a great game for her.
She wanted the ball. Kelly mentioned that, and her teammates wanted to get her the ball, and that was the result. The team's energy today, it was high energy. They were into it, and I think when you get to this point too, I mean, there's some relief too that you got here, that you were able to play 21 games in a pandemic, and that you've gotten to postseason. This has not been an easy season on players of any team. And you can tell watching it. I mean, you can just see the fatigue. It's not basketball fatigue. It's a different fatigue. This is taking a toll on everyone. And coaches, I mean, taking a toll on them, because not only are they trying to coach a team, they're responsible for the well-being of these young ladies and their health. And it's just been a whole lot of extracurricular things that you have to do in a pandemic than you would in any normal season.
Yeah, Kevin over here on YouTube said definitely seeing improvement in the Lady Vols. Yeah, we were just talking about that earlier. Definitely seeing some improvement. Doris says Pat Summitt was my daughter's hero. And we've had some great callers. We've had some great commenters. What's up next for the Buck and 2MC show? I'm not Buck. I'm not Alexis Hornbuckle. I'm Bobby. I'm the producer. Alexis had to go to Disney World. I don't say
She'll
that
be
I
back.
blame
I
her.
think she'll be back Wednesday. We'll obviously preview the SEC tournament. We'll know more then about who's where and how the bracket looks. We'll do some video clips from press conferences too. That I assume we'll probably be able to talk to Kelly before the team departs for Greenville. So obviously this will be the postseason edition of the Buck and 2MC show on Wednesday, as we get ready for the SEC tournament and sort of take a look at how those brackets line up. We should get one here pretty soon. They'll put it out as soon as the season wraps up. So we should be getting one this evening.
Well, I guess that's all we've got for today. Do you have anything else?
No, I think I've hit all my key points. Just an outstanding way to finish the home season. I can't believe that we're done for 2021 in Thompson-Boling Arena. Obviously, ironically, Tennessee would host in a normal year with this record. They're definitely a top 16 seed, and they would have been able to host the NCAA tournament in Knoxville. And of course, that has been taken away by the pandemic. So everybody will head to Texas in 2 weeks. I think the best thing the Lady Vols have coming up too is the way their season works out. You play the SEC tournament, that's over Sunday, and then you've got a week before the brackets even come out. That is a chance to heal, to get some rest. I mean, they'll still take the court, but there won't be that urgency if you got to get ready for a game. And academics, I mean, gives them some time to actually physically be on campus. They haven't not been on campus much in the month of February with these road trips and that disaster in Texas. So that week coming up after this week is so important for a team to have the chance just to regroup and get some rest and recovery and stay sharp and get ready for the NCAA tournament, because everybody knows that's the one that matters.
Hey, I've got to give a special shout out to someone on YouTube. Been watching me long before Alexis and Maria's joined the show, long before my roommate Billy Ratliff, former player, football player, joined the show. But Will Kellogg's been watching me for a long time. He just placed a humongous order, and he was telling everybody to go check out the Volunteer Roadshow merchandise. Yes, I appreciate it, Will. Billy and I are working on getting that order out for you, getting autographs. Can you believe he asked for my autograph, Maria? I can understand getting Billy's autograph. He's a legend.
I don't know. A catfish autograph, that's pretty special.
I've given out a few. I've had some guys recognize me at a truck stop, say, "Can I get your autograph?" I said, "No, I'm not going to sign your autograph, but I'll buy you a cup of coffee. I'll do that for you."
Even better. You're a good man.
Let's see. Anybody else we need to give a shout out to? Renee says, "Thank you, Maria and Bobby. Thanks, Orange Mountain Designs, Blue Water. Yep, and Tennessee Tap House, too." Maria, we need to get this pandemic over, not only because it saves lives, and I'm joking when I say more importantly, so we can go have a beer.
Yes. We are going to have fun one night when we're all vaccinated and we're out of this mess, and we can sit back and be people again and enjoy. And yeah, you and I, and we'll have to get Alexis there too, and anybody else we can round up. Just come out and have some beer and just talk and have a good time.
Yeah, I can't wait. So anyway, back to Will Kellogg. Thank you very much. And Billy's downstairs cooking, or I'd have him come up here and thank you. He placed a really big order with us. Trish Jackson says, "Thanks, Maria, Alexis, and Bobby." And Alexis will be back in where I'm sitting, but not really where I'm sitting, but on that side of the screen this coming Wednesday. So y'all don't have to look
Bobby,
at my ugly mug.
You. No, your mug is not ugly, and I appreciate you filling in, so I didn't have to just talk to myself. So I appreciate you coming through.
All right, let's play Rocky Top. I think today's win and this season deserves a Rocky Top before we close out.
Best song ever.
Don't forget to do the woo.
I have that woo.